Hey guys, and welcome to another game asset tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be doing this fire hydrant. I'm gonna go over the workflow of creating this fire hydrant. So before I do anything though, I want to explain the steps of creating game ready assets. Now you want to begin with a blockout. A blockout is basically, like the name says, you're trying to block out the shapes of the object you're trying to model. You don't really worry about the topology or anything. You want to make sure your blockout looks like the object you're trying to model. Because when we do so, we can actually make sure we're not really screwing up the shapes or the proportions. So it's really useful. After that, I'm going to do the Highpoly model. And I'm going to teach you how to set support loops, why support loops are important, and teach you a lot of techniques on the way. And after that we're going to do the low poly version, and the low poly version is actually the fire hydrant just with the very most necessary edges. So I'm going to get rid of all the extra edges I've added during the high poly stage, and I'm only going to leave these edges I really need. Then I'm going to UV unwrap this low poly model, and after that I'm going to texture it inside quixel. Before that I'm going to bake it, of course. Then I'm going to take it inside quixel, texture it, and then I'm going to put it into marmorset for a small scene. So without wasting any more time, let's just go ahead. I'm going to use 32 sides for this piece, for the main body. So I'm going to drag it out, move it here, drag it out a bit more, till it roughly matches. I'm going to press A for angle snap, and you will see me switching between move, rotate, and scale, and you can actually toggle them by pressing W, E, and R. So I'm gonna press E, and I'm gonna make sure angle snap is enabled, and I'm gonna rotate it to 90 degrees. Now I'm gonna turn this into an editable poly. Gonna delete the top faces, and I'm just gonna drag it down to the bottom. Here I'm going to press R, hold shift and scale to extrude an edge. Move it down, hold shift and drag to extrude an edge again, and just scale it back, move it up, and just move it down. Scale it like this. Maybe a bit bigger, to be honest. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this piece, scale it out, move it up a bit more, and just inset it again. Make it bigger. So select all these edges, verts, and just scale them. Deselect these, and that looks good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just first scale it to here. Now I'm gonna actually select all the edges, hit connect, segments to 4 good enough. Then I'm going to select each line, each loop, all these verts, and just gonna adjust the shape over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick this, select this, and just gonna scale it in to about here. It looked a bit too big, so now I'm going to go to border mode, extrude it here, extrude it to here, and just going to cap it to here. The next thing would be to actually fix some stuff. Okay, that's about it. So now I want to add the cylindrical, the other cylinders. But before I do that, I want to make sure I hit connect here, because then I have a center. I want to give it a gray material. We're starting to check out the shape. Looks good to me. So I'm gonna add another cylinders. Over here. I'm gonna copy it over here as well. Move it back in. Adjust the height. Okay, so I guess the block out is actually done. Now I'm going to move over to the Highpoly, but before I do that I want to clean up the geometry. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that this is actually a bit bigger. Just want to make sure this. Just select these edges and scale them out like this. Okay, and I want to get rid of this edge here. Okay. You can get rid of edges by holding Control and Backspace. So this is how you get rid of stuff. Okay, let me give it a black cage. Give this one a black cage as well. I'm gonna get rid of this cylinder because I can just mirror it. Okay, so as you can see, these edges are not actually connecting. We have a bunch of more edges over here than here. So what we have to do now is we have to kind of align them and make so that we can actually connect them. So I'm just gonna try to align them now by playing around with these sides. So 24 actually seems like a good number. So I'm going to stick with 24 because as you can see, I can align this, I can align this, I can align this, this, and this. And here I can just run some loops. So 24 is a good side, a good number. Going to have to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to make sure it's in the middle. I'm going to fiddle with the sides. So 16 seems like a good number. So I'm actually going to keep it like it is. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger, like this. So this is good enough. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select the parent over here. I'm going to go to Compound Object and hit Boolean. Now press this button and add those to your list. Now you have some bunch of options you can do, but I want you to press Union. Okay, after that I want you to select those verts and hit Loops Connect. And the reason I want this to be is because I can just work on one side now and can just symmetry the other one. Okay, as you can see, it actually just created a cut over here. So delete the overlapping parts here as well. Just get rid of them. And I apologize if you can hear my keyboard if my keyboard is very loud, but I cannot really fix it right now. Okay, so what you want to do is, this is now really important, you want to actually hit ring, go to the left viewport, you want to select all these edges, connect, scale it to the axis, and go back like this. Now I'm going to explain why I did that. So I did that because now I actually isolated this area. So when I target weld on this to here, the impact is actually just going to affect this edge, whereas when I wouldn't, let me just remove it. As you can see, these are not aligning perfectly, but when I try to align it, I'm actually destroying the cylindrical shape, as you can see. And this is actually pretty bad, so I have to avoid this. This is why I added this isolation edge to minimize the impact. And I can make sure the cylinder retains its cylindrical shape. Okay, but this is actually too far apart. for me to just do it like this. So for that reason, I'm just going to run a support loop here. I would run a support loop here anyway, so that's not really a huge deal for me. So I'd say doing Highpoly stuff has a lot to do with thinking how to circumvent certain situations, how to avoid some stuff. So it's sometimes really fun to find solutions, and it's very rewarding if you find good solutions. So as you can see, by connecting these, I automatically created support loops over here, and I made sure that the end-gon is actually gone. So this is really awesome, to be honest, because now I have all the quads, and the pinching should be gone in that area, and I should have a smooth transition over here. I'm going to do the same thing over here, pretty much. So I'm just going to speed up speed it up. So I'm just going to focus on doing the exact same thing over here. Okay, but here I actually have to run some loops. Like so. And I actually want to create an end-gon, because this will serve as a support loop. Okay, so I'm gonna still in constraints, so I'm just gonna adapt the shape or the flow, and now I can just go to Swift loop. Okay, it doesn't work, doesn't really matter. Create the support loop. I'm gonna give it a weld. Gonna get rid of this one, and I'm just checking if the smoothing is good. And as you can see, the smoothing is perfect. The transitions are good, and it's all I need. So I'm just gonna remove Turbo Smooth now, and I'm gonna hit symmetry. Okay, that's it for the blockout, or that it. Now we're going to move to the Highpoly. Not quite, we still have to do these caps and all this stuff, so I'm just going to quickly do them. But I'm going to make them separate, so I'm just going to move it back. I collapsed these edges by hitting collapse. I have a hotkey assigned to it, but by pressing this button you can actually just collapse. I'm gonna do the same over here. Just a second. Okay, so just gonna scale it down and collapse it. Okay, now I'm gonna make these caps. So I'm gonna take another cylinder. I think I'm going to give it 32 sides. So let me just quickly. Okay. Drag it out. Like this. Okay, for anyone who's wondering why I'm adding these support loops, here we have a box. Now, if I hit Turbo Smooth on it, as you can see, the entire shape collapsed. However, if I add segments or support loops, I can actually make the shape come back by adding some more segments to it. So let me just put some more segments to it, and as you can see, the shape is coming back. And the reason for that is I'm adding more segments. So this is why we're adding support loops, to retain the shape. So that's pretty much it, and I hope it covered what support loops are for. They're pretty much just to retain or maintain the shape. And there are a lot of awesome tutorials about subdivision, so if you still have questions, just Google some tutorials about subdivision. There are plenty of subdivision tutorials. So go hit Inset, now bevel, Inset, now collapse. Now it's actually time to add this detail over here, so I'm just quickly trying to edit by okay. So I want you to select I want you to select two faces and keep two faces as a gap. Now hit Inset. Actually, don't hit Inset, just hit Bevel. By local normal. Inset it inwards. Like this. And now maybe just give it another inset. Just let me give it another inset. and the shape is not going to be complete yet. So add some support loops. That's what we need to do. So I'm just going to add some support loops right now. So let's check it out now. Starting to look pretty accurate. Let me check it out again. Maybe just add a segment. Hit ring and give it 2 segments. That sharpened it up. However, I don't really like that we're getting these squarish type of insets where when the reference clearly shows some roundish types of insets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the middle edge and just scale it inwards like I'm doing right now. So I actually just made sure that it looks a bit more like the reference, as you can see. So yes, it looks good to me now. So what I can do now is I can just take it and just I think these are the same, just smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, rotate it, and just copy paste it. Put it into place. Say for the other side as well. Okay, I'm gonna refine the main body now. For that I'm going to hit connect, scale it out, chamfer it, maybe give it 3 segments. And I'm actually gonna just take those, scale it up, and hit bevel over here. So that should look good. We have to do the same thing here. And let me just think. Okay, we're going to do these details now. So put an edge here and put an edge here, and select two faces next to each other and keep two as a gap, just like we did before. And hit inset. Select these. Ignore back facing. So just select them, and we have a couple of verts selected we don't really want to modify, so I'm just going to get rid of them. You want to make sure you have edge constraints on, and I'm not quite sure if it's going to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually just scale it on the z-axis, and after that you want to hit bevel, bevel inwards, and hit inset again. Okay, my mouse is actually really broken. I apologize for that, but yeah, it's quite annoying. And after that, let me just first check it out. So it looks good and looks like the reference, but still there's something missing, which is let me just get a non-specular material and select this middle edge here. Hit ring, check it out again, and then hit connect. Now, actually, okay, looks good to me. And let's just go ahead. seems like I've moved this one. So just gonna put it back in place. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly do the rest. Scale it to the z-axis. And do the same over here. So, instead, select the corner verts, go to the left viewport, make sure you have selected everything. Okay, now you want to actually just do the same, and now bevel inset, and yep, just do the, actually not inset, we're going to leave it first as it is to see how it looks, because as you can see, wait just a second, because actually this looks very pronounced with some hard edges, but this looks softer. This has a softer inset, so I'm just gonna keep it like this, really. But still, swift loop, scale to the z-axis, and just run some support loops. Okay, to me it seems like only a couple of things are left, so I'm just going to quickly finish them off. Or I'm going to do that, I'm going to cap this. So the bolts are missing and this piece over here, so I'm just going to quickly do the piece over there, here. So I'm just going to take a plane and just roughly do it. Remove all segments. add some support loops, and then some loops for the hole. So inset, oh my god, inset, go to the edge mode, click loops tools, and hit circle. Now that created a perfect circle for us. I'm just gonna scale it in, do support loops, gonna go to border selection mode, and just gonna mirror it. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna turbo smooth it. And I'm gonna copy this piece. Maybe I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Just a second. I'm gonna move it down. Actually, just make this one bigger. Okay. Now I'm gonna hit symmetry and mirror it to the other side. Hitting flip. There we go. I actually screwed up the faces, so I'm just gonna hit align. Okay, now only what's left are the bolts. So I'm gonna do the bolts, but I actually want to loosen this one up because this is pretty sharp, and I don't want it to be very sharp. Okay, so I'm gonna go to cylinders, 6 sides. 6 sides, and I'm just gonna quickly do it. Gonna go to chamfer, go to quad chamfer, tension to 0.5, and from unsmoothed edges. Now you're gonna have to tweak it. So what you have to do is you wanna hit properties and then make it hard, so it has hard edges. And now quad chamfer knows where to actually chamfer, so it actually chamfers from the hard edges you give it. So just to spread it, to where you want it to spread. The bolt looks a bit bigger here, if I see so myself. And just copy it on the other side. And that's pretty much it. Now we actually need one on the top, and we need to add the bolts. Okay, so now we're going to do the bolts, and we can do the same by just taking it, and this time around just do objects and name it B for bolts. Chamfer, tension to 0.5, smoothing, unsmooth edges, bring it down, turbo smooth, scale it. Okay, I can use array for this, but I just quickly do it by hand. Doesn't really matter. Clone to element back. And now copy it here. Okay, chamfer. Select all of them. And take these, only the bottom ones, and paste them to here. Actually, we don't need it over here. So I think it's pretty much done. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Let me look at the time. Okay, so I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes to do some chains. So it should be cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a cylinder. Between segments. I've seen it in the in some reference pictures that there is some awesome chains attached to it. So I'm just gonna try to try to replicate it. I'm just gonna hang it over here. Made a bit smaller. I'm gonna hit shell. Then I'm going to actually going to hit editable mesh. And I'm just gonna add some support loops. Hit turbo smooth. And actually we have a glitch. No, we don't have a glitch. I accidentally added end support loop here. Just get rid of that. And now just make the chains by going to the line creation tab and hit where's rectangle, go to front and just create a rectangle, editable spline this time around, not my intention. Editable spline, select all the verts and just put the fillet to max. Oops, not like that. And go to rendering, enable in viewport, and we don't want to go overboard with it, so thickness pretty much like this, and section like this. Delete this one and this one, get rid of that, and one iteration is enough. And I want you to add it to like here. Rotate it 90 degrees and just place it over here and just do some. Don't do a lot because we want to keep the play count a bit small, but if you feel like you need to, you can also do more. It's up to you really. Okay, so this is pretty much done. What I want to do now is I want to just copy and paste it to the other ones. Because I'm going to hit isolate here. Just take it and just copy, rotate to 90 degrees. Okay, so that's well, I guess that's pretty much it for the Highpoly modeling of this fire hydrant. I hope you learned a lot during this Highpoly modeling stage, and I'm gonna cut the video off now, and I will see you in the low poly / unwrapping section of the tutorial. And yeah, just give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment if you have questions. So yeah, goodbye, and have a good day.